Oh,
Gosh.
all right. This is the most stressful episode of the Booze and the Bees yet. Our recorder broke when we were doing a recording at Porsche, and I had to reformat my entire memory card and had been working for 2 hours trying to get audio to work right. So if the audio sucks, it sucks. I'm working on it. So we're going to do this whole podcast and just see how it goes. And that's all we can really do this time. So.
Yeah, welcome to the Booze and the Bees. I don't really know what we're talking about in this episode.
I don't know. All that's happened that, I think one big thing we can talk about is, a type of communication that I struggle with. And I'm an engineer and I'm very, practical, pragmatic, but I say things that aren't meant to be an insult to people, and then they do come off that way. Like I said something earlier, and not intending to be offensive to anybody, but it came off as if I was putting down their efforts when I'm really trying to come across that we know our value is higher than we place it at because someone else doing less in some regard is making money. And it's not to say that they aren't good at what they do or don't deserve it. It's that we deserve, not to say deserve, but we could be getting more for what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I made it sound is like their stuff stinks. But what I really meant to say is we stink at convincing people of our value, or rather I do. So I really want to be able to work on that in my communication instead of being very engineering and be more human. And one thing that I like about somebody that we were talking with today is every time we meet up with them, they just have nothing but nice things to say about people and really just bring everybody up around them. And that's something I really appreciate and would like to do myself. So I think that's probably one of the learning lessons of the day is just how to make sure I can catch myself before I say things to not sound insulting by accident. It's definitely not my intention. Everyone does such great work, and it's just, hey, why aren't we able to do something similar to that? It's not saying they're doing badly. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Every day learning new things, and as long as we keep growing, it's all we can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have a really bad headache today. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's been a weird day with just things not working, headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it. Good episode. I'll see you on the next one.
Well, it's not really an episode.
Oh, okay. I guess we can keep talking.
That makes it exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any topic. It's your time to shine. What do we got?
We can talk about, I don't know. I really can't think right now. Yeah.
Good talk.
I'll probably label it as like our worst podcast ever.
Yeah, it really is.
Hopefully it will be.
Yeah. It's just been a tough day. I'm still got hours of work to do on the technical stuff. Who even knows if we're going to get audio off this? It's everything broke. Everything broke. I don't get why. So. Oh well. That literally just might be the podcast. We might just end it here. We're doing one a day. I mean, I can't just talk.
It's just 5 minutes though.
Yeah, but I can't just talk the whole time and we don't have anything to talk about.
We ran a red light today. He ran a red light today.
Well,
Scared the heck out of me.
We were making a turn and it was yellow and I had to look and then it was red. And then it was like, well, I gotta go now because otherwise we're doomed. So I had to keep going. I went through and we got through it safely. Then she was sad all day. She was like, I'm traumatized.
All day. See, this happens if I get anxious, then I am anxious all day, apparently.
Yep.
Um,
See how quiet she's talking?
I always talk like this. I'm not loud. I'm not a loud person. And yeah, I didn't really know how I was supposed to react to like a situation like that. That's like already like driving gives me anxiety, so I already have to overcome that every day, which is like whatever. And then like, obviously it wasn't on purpose. Like I know he didn't purposely run the red light. But then I also didn't get any like comfort or apology or reassurance that it wasn't like, it was like really an accident and like wouldn't happen again. Because like, I don't know, all I got was I had no other choice. And then
I didn't. It was
well,
kind
not
of the
really.
actions.
That's BS. You could have just stopped at the red light.
You can't stop. I would have stopped mid-lane.
No, we were
I was going
okay.
too quickly.
But then also it's like this point, the conversation and like arguing doesn't matter, right? It's just like
yeah,
I didn't get any comfort or reassurance. I got literally just like I felt like just put down and then told, well, you need to work on your mental health, so let's talk about it on the podcast. Like my mental health doesn't really, I feel like, play a part in my reaction to a situation happening. I mean, yes, you did ask me once, like, how am I? And then I said I was fine.
Yeah.
And so he had to ask me again. But I was trying to just be fine with it because I was like, I didn't really want to make it a big deal. But then I was like, I don't know, then just like your reaction to when I did say something.
I really think that's one of the big parts of communication is like if you're talking to your partner, just be like, if you're going to be in a mood all day, it'd be nicer to talk about it. Because if you're going to say, oh, I'm fine, it's like, well, you're not fine. You're not going to be fine. Like, and the options were limited, right? And it's one of those things. It's a mistake. It's like I was looking for traffic, so I didn't get into traffic. It was red light. I had to go through it. Because if not, I would have stopped midway because we were going at a speed that would have had us stop midway into the lane. And that's how that goes. And it stinks. I wasn't happy about it. It wasn't like I was just intentionally doing things that are risky and dangerous. And, but shutting down doesn't help. And then going for reassurance, I try to put my hand on you and talk about it. But it's one of those things you should just be talking to people and like opening up about it. Because it's one of those things you're going to shut in and it's going to be an all-day thing.
But it wasn't an all-day thing.
You still seem pretty down even now, but I know we're tired.
My head hurts really bad, and I said that, and I talked to you, and I've been talking to you just fine. So it hasn't been an all-day thing. And we've talked about that before, how I don't like when I get put down like that, and I ruin the whole day because I had an anxious moment. I said I didn't say it right away because I was trying to just not make it a big deal, right? And so I should have just said something right away. Well, I did, right? But then I didn't want it to be a fight and like an argument because it was like no point really arguing. I just was like scary, and then I didn't get like like oh my gosh, like are you okay? Like I was like sorry that happened, or like obviously it was a stressful thing. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
didn't get anything.
And I think that comes across as like what do people want? What do they expect? Because I'm not the kind of person who'd be like, oh my gosh, like that was so crazy. Like, are you okay? It's like, oh, geez, that stunk. Okay, let's move on with the day. And I, made sure I put my hand on her, made sure I opened my hand, let her know, like I want to be able to hold her hand. So the actions that I did may not have come across as what she wanted. But that's why you really need to be open with what you say to your partner. And it's like, if I want a certain specific type of condolence, then you need to ask for that kind of condolence, because what I did, I thought would be reassuring. So, if it gets perceived as being put down and not reassured, I can't control that. And neither can your partners at home. So that's just one thing to note when talking to people. That's why it's good to open up and make sure your partner understands what you do, especially since no one's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. And everyone perceives things differently and wants different things. And you're not always going to get the exact phrase that you need. So like, oh gosh, oh no, so sorry. It's like it's like when your kid falls and you're like, oh my God, oh no. You're like, hey, you're okay, get back up, buddy, and they like laugh and they're happy about it. right? So it's like everyone has their own decisions to make and how they handle any type of situation. We were safe. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't like a ton of people were like there. You know, we just had to be like, oh God, we got to get through this light because there's no other option. And then it was like, ooh, that stinks. Let's move on. You know, put my hand out for condolence, but you know, it's more just like wasn't a big deal. But it's not like we were fighting over it or nothing. So it's just one of those things that we got to just move past and let that happen. So.
I was just bringing up a conversation to talk about.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. We could be done.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Love y'all.
Guffaw.